Okay, so good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's IELTS class. And I'll be doing a recap of what we did last week. Some of us that were in class on Thursday, I gave a task out. But till now, I don't think I've seen any task from anyone to be able to see if we really understood what was taught. But I will go briefly into doing a recap of what we did in the class. Okay, so in the last class, I did an introduction to the stages for writing, doing writing task 2. Yes, I said the stages, and I took us through the first stage, which was to either understand the task. Then that is, you need to clarify the question type. So if you need to, because I have seen that it's very critical in understanding what we need to do so that you don't answer the question wrongly. So, and I said it generally that day that there were 3 question types, which were A, the why question, and B, the what question, and C, the how question format. Okay, and I gave samples and asked us to identify the different question types. I said any question that asks you to determine your position and justify the position is often a what question. A typical case is the question below. It is benefiting to buy ticket to watch a movie at the cinema than to purchase a library ticket to go study in the library. Say, to what extent do you agree or disagree with this statement? It means you will take a side and then justify your position. If you are saying, okay, it's quite benefiting to buy tickets, watch movie, or no, the opposite is the case, it's better to obtain a library ticket to go study. So you will take a position and you will justify why you are saying that. Okay, so those are the things I said. I said why questions are normally opinion questions. What is your opinion on this issue? Or what do you think? Or to what extent do you agree or disagree? Yes, those are why questions. Okay, so and I did particularly one that before you start writing, do not be swayed by the morality of the question. You need to be swayed by the points you can produce. On which side you can produce the more points, that was where you should go, because you are writing to actually score a mark. Okay, so let's go to the next stage. And I gave other examples of questions like this question now. The first car appeared on British road in 1988. By the year 2020, there may be as many as 29 million vehicles on British road. Alternate form. The first part of the question is a statement that they want you to consider as facts. Alternate form of transport should be encouraged. Okay, that's solution case. An international law introduced to control car ownership and use. Okay, it's saying to what extent do you agree or disagree with this solution it tries to prefer. So this is a why question. It means if you feel the law should be enacted, you justify why the law should be enacted. You wouldn't say this is how the law should work. You will justify why the law, or is it better enacting the law is the best option. You will justify that position. Okay, so that is it about, and we went through series of questions like that. So that's understanding what I call the question format. Then the number 2 thing I said is after identifying the question, you need to plan. Okay, let me see if I have a plan. Yes, you need to plan. Okay, so what I meant is you need to plan here. That is, you need to write out the points to be discussed and possibly the ways you will discuss your points. This is to enable you gather your thoughts before proceeding to actually writing. Yes. Okay, before proceeding to actually writing. Okay, so you plan, and I did a particular introduction to a particular topic, which was this topic that men. Okay, sorry, I did a plan before the introduction, sorry. So let me go to the plan. Okay, this is the question. Men do most of high-level jobs. Should the government encourage a certain percentage of these jobs to be reserved for women? What is your opinion on that? So it says use your knowledge and experience and support your argument with examples and relevant evidences. Actually, whether this is given or not, this is the standard procedure to write. I said you need to give example or validate your points. So when we get there, I will illustrate further. So that was the question, and I came down here and planned. I said the plan is, if it's a why question, I said you need to decide your position, then plan. I said I agree, but not totally. Yes, that was my own position. I agree that government should set the pace, but I think I also have other positions which can hate government action. Okay, my first point was government should set the pace because it has the power to do so. Since we are not many this evening, one thing I will do is that I will try to unmute, because I will still want us to write introduction or plan a particular topic together so that this thing will become clearer and clearer. So this was the planning I did last week here right in the class. And I said private sectors are the highest employer of labor. They should lead by example. That was my second point. Okay, now, then I wrote an introduction, because after planning, the next thing you will do is to write an essay. And the first thing in the essay, let me label this as A, is write an introduction or a background. Okay, this was a sample introduction I wrote in the last class, but as many, I think some people did and some of us were not around. I want to still go back to that introduction before we transit today. Okay, so you write an introduction, and I said your introduction should be a rewrite of the question. You rephrase it in your own word or in a way that allows you to transit into the main body. Then you highlight the points you would like to discuss. Yes. So that is your introduction. Okay, let me see if I can get the sample question I gave us last week. Okay. This was the question we did in class. I want us to go, let me go to something a bit easier for this evening. This was the task I gave last week. Well, I didn't see it from any one of us, that is the introduction. But today I want us to rewrite the introduction again and then go into the main body, possibly the main body of maybe this one, not necessarily go back to that of last week. Okay, this one is saying it is better for children to grow up in the countryside than in the big city. I want us to go through the process of thinking through this question together. So I will unmute now so that we can, the fourth person has gone off. She said her phone was, battery was flat. So everybody's in the mood for holiday. So we are very few now. Okay. So this is the question, so that you will be allowed some time to think. But based on the explanation of what I did, sorry, let me go to the question again. Based on the explanation of what I did, Mary, good evening. Please, can you identify this question type? Hello? Are you having difficulty with the audio or volume or what? Because you are speaking, please go into the left-hand side corner of the bottom of that app. Then I think the volume, as it is being displayed now to you, you can control your volume from there. Yes. Okay. I think the next person is Omotoke. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, how is everything?
Good evening.
Okay. What question type is this?
It's a why.
Okay. So yes, it's a why question type. Oh, what's wrong? Sorry, somebody is overriding my system. So let me erase. Okay. 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 Why question? Okay. Type. So that's number one. So we have identified the question type is a why question type. So number two now. Number two, we need to plan. And okay, let me ask you, what position would you like to take? Do you agree that it is better for children to grow up in the countryside or in the big city?
I think the big city.
Okay, you think the big city? Okay, so our position is this, agree children are better off in the cities. Okay, Now, what are the points to... Okay, Mary, you're back. Can you hear us, and can you talk? Okay, I can't really hear you. I don't know. Okay. Well, I guess you must have been following us, because the person I want us to really do it together, and so possibly so that it will be easy, we can comprehend. Because the first thing is to identify the question type, and this was the question, and we've identified it as a why question. Then the next thing is plan, and we have taken a position that okay, disagree, and our position is that children are better off in the cities. Okay, so Toke, what are the points you would use to... Mary, you can also contribute. What are the points you will use to support the fact that children are better off in the cities than in the countryside? Okay. Our fourth person just joining us, welcome. You are on to IELTS writing session. We are doing a recap of what we did last week. Thursday, yes. Okay, I am waiting because I want everybody to contribute. This is the question. So let me display it again. So this is the question we are treating, and this evening, particularly, I want to focus on recap of what we did last Thursday, which was introduction, how to write an introduction, and possibly this evening, how to write a paragraph. So I'm going to give a sample. And so now we're at the planning stage. It means that we have agreed that the question type is a why question, and we are planning. We have taken a position that we disagree, that children are better off in the city. And Omotoke, we are still waiting for you for the first point, because I want as many people that can contribute. We have already taken a position, so flow along with us, even if you disagree. The point is not being right or wrong. It's about ability to defend the position that you take. Okay, so it's okay, I'm waiting. So if anybody wants to contribute, please just indicate and talk. What did you say?
I don't have point too.
Why wouldn't you have points? Okay, maybe you have more points for children are better off in the rural areas or in the countryside.
Okay.
If you have point for that, you can give it.
Okay. Okay, may I say children are better off in the countryside because they tend to be more conservative and well brought up, better manner than children in the cities.
Okay, you are trying to say that the conservative nature of the rural areas contributes to the mannerism of children.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, no problem. Children are better off in, agree, children are better off in the countryside. Any other points? Okay, I will write a note of disagreement too, though I will just discuss one of them. Disagree. Children, to have a balanced view, children are better off in the cities. Okay, since you said a cool atmosphere of training help develop good manners. Okay, for my own disagree points, I will say cities have the right amenities in terms of quantity and qualities. Yes, I'm saying that cities have better amenities in terms of qualities and quantities. Okay, who else want to contribute to the other to the side of agree or disagree? You can contribute to either side. So let's make it a case of whichever side you would like to be on.
Okay, I want to contribute to, let me say, the demerits of the city. Can I?
The merit of
Like
what?
children, the city, growing up in the city.
Okay, so okay, contribute please.
Okay, so I want to say that children that grow in the city tend to be, they are easily exposed to a lot of things, including vices. Did you get that?
Yes. Okay, I have written it. Let me just bolden it for the sake of people who will be watching the video later so that, okay, this is the first point. Let me write the second one of disagree in another slide so as to make it clear. Yes. Okay. So, okay. You said, okay, for my disagree, I will add a second point. I will say children in the cities are exposed to cross-cultural and multi-ethnic experience. Okay, so that's my point one and point two. So now, after planning, because it's always good to plan, because if you will be stranded on a particular topic or a particular option that you are picking, you will know from your planning and it will allow you switch over to the one that is easy for you to write about. Okay, now I would write an introduction and I will want us, after I've written the introduction, we need to be fast this evening because this is just a recap of last lecture and I discovered that some people are just joining us and I think I want to slow down a bit. I want to write a low version introduction, then write a high, possibly high version, low version in the sense that it will be very simple, but it will score you a very low mark, then possibly write a high level. So, and I will want you to just, after I've written my first introduction, I will want everyone to also participate in writing an introduction. Yes. So this is the question, and it is better for children to grow up in the countryside than in a big city Do you agree or disagree? Okay, someone agreed. Okay, agree. Then, and the point is that children are better off in the countryside because of cool atmosphere of training help develop good manners in children. And the person said, on the other hand, children raised in the cities are exposed to vices, to a lot of vices. Okay, so, and I said I was going to give a counter option. On my own side, I was going to disagree. I said children are better off in the cities due to this two main points. I said they have the right amenities in terms of quantities. Cities have the right of amenities in terms of quantities and qualities. That is, amenities which are critical to training children. And I said children in the cities are exposed to cross-cultural and multi-ethnic experience. So if you are finding it difficult to generate ideas, I must stop at this point and tell you categorically, you need to read. And most of us that are on Tuesday class are either full-time online physical class students. I send us tasks regularly, journals. Please read those journals. Number one, those journals help you to generate ideas on different issues and topics. Yes, and it will also help to serve some other points in a vocabulary development, which I've introduced in one of the lectures, and I keep emphasizing. Okay, so these are the 2 points. Now I want to write an introduction. I will write it now within the space of 5 minutes. Then I will expect within 5 minutes too, I'll be expecting, after I've completed my first one, I will expect an introduction from your side too. Okay, I'm writing an introduction. I said the exact environment a child is nurtured is critical to the outcome, to the eventual outcome of that child. Okay, thus the city or the countryside. Okay, the environment a child is nurtured is critical to the eventual outcome of that child. Thus, there has been debate about which is the best place to raise a child. Okay, sorry, this place should have been a question mark. The city, sorry, this can continue. The city or the countryside? So this should be a question mark. To some, the countryside is the better option. I want to replace this place to rural because I keep mentioning it. Area is the better option as it offers a cool and calm community for children's upbringing. But the overall development of a child is well attained in the big, in the urban centers due availability of critical amenities necessary for child upbringing and exposure and the cross-cultural exposure gained. Upbringing. Okay, so this is a introduction. This is my introduction. I said the environment a child is nurtured is critical to the eventual outcome of that child. Thus, there has been debate about which is the best place to raise a child, the city or the countryside. That has captured the question. So now, the second part, I am introducing my discussion because I said you can introduce your points at this stage. If you are a very good writer, you might not necessarily need to do it. But when we get to the conclusion, you will see why it is good so that you don't lose track. I said to some, the rural area is the better option as it offers a cool and calm community for children's upbringing, but the overall development of a child is well attained in the urban centers due availability of critical, okay, I just wrote critic here, amenities necessary for child upbringing and the cross-cultural exposure the children or they gain. No, sorry, it was correct. They gain or gained. So this is a sample introduction. I want you to write your own introduction. I'm giving us 5 minutes. Please just recapture the question. If you agree with the point I've raised, if you have other points, if you disagree, you can use the point which we have used here. Yes, this was the point. Sorry, where is the point? Okay, let me go there. Yes, this was my own point, and this was the point I wrote an introduction for. If possible, if we have the time, I will write an introduction for the disagree people. But first, let me see your introduction. 5 minutes, please. Okay, let me just open. If there's a comment, please send your comment or anything you want to say while writing. If you have anything to contribute. Okay, I can spot, I'm redoing my this thing, I am spotting an error. Because I am comparing two places, the better is the right word, not the best. Which is the better place to raise a child, the city or the countryside? You can send through this place or send through the WhatsApp. Will read it out so that if there is any correction, I will make it. The purpose is for us to understand how to write, frame the introduction properly. Then the next thing we will do before we close, I will introduce us to writing a paragraph. Yes, I want us to get it right. Initially, I said I wanted to write a very low level introduction, but I think I didn't do that. Okay, it's 5 minutes already. Those who have those who have written an introduction, please don't be shy of just, you will be kept anonymous. Please don't be shy of submitting your introduction, please, so that I will be able to access it, because that's the main aim of the class. If you've written something presentable and something that could score you a high mark, I'll be able to access you on the spot and give you a feedback. Okay, well, I will keep it anonymous from the sender. I will just present it as one of us, then read it out. Possibly if there is a correction that can be made. So please let me have it for those who have written. Okay, Mary, do you have any introduction written for us? I've unmute you. You can talk. Okay. So, okay, do you have any introduction for us?
I'll send it to your WhatsApp.
You've sent it.
No, I've not. So.
I'm expecting it.
Okay, no.
Okay, please, let's have it. Okay, B-Man, do we have any introduction? I guess, do we have any introduction? Okay, it seems I can't unmute you. Maybe you mute yourself there. Okay, Kunle, please, do we have any introduction?
I came in late, so I rather just listen through to learn better.
Okay, no problem then. Okay, if I don't get any, I will transit to the body now. Okay, I think, okay, no problem. Okay, I've read your own. I'll give a feedback outside the class. Okay, so let me transit now into uh, the major body, how to write the body of an essay, because the first stage is identify the question type, the second stage is planning, the third stage is writing, and writing third stage A is writing the introduction, or if you want to call it, yes, or here I named it 4, but let me name it 3B now. I said, sorry, 3B, the main body, which is, and I said it here, that in the main body that each point raised should be discussed in a separate paragraph. Yes, please note it. Don't combine unrelated points. And I said it, don't just raise the point. You need to raise the point. You need to possibly illustrate the point, explain. So the introductory statement would be just a statement that captures your idea, then you explain the idea, then if possible, you give a validation of the idea. So that's what I'm going to expose us to tonight, and then let's see how we, to what extent we can move. Okay, so this is the introduction to that part. Then I want to write a body, and one of the points I raised in the body is the presence of social amenities in urban centers more than in the rural areas. Okay, so now I want to write the first point. Okay. Okay, as much as many view the countryside as being the perfect fit environment for raising a child because of the calm and cool nature. I think I've mentioned this in the introduction. In raising a child, okay, for raising a child due to the well-suited calmness it offers, yet the critical or the very important amenities for training a child are in good quantities as well as quality in the urban centers. Okay, so I have introduced the ideas here. I have said that as much as many view the countryside as being the perfect fit environment for raising a child due to well-suited calmness it offers, yet the very important amenities for training a child are in good quantities as well as quality in the urban centers. Okay, okay. I've used urban centers many times. So I said critical infrastructure such as schools, play centers, IT training programs and centers, which are necessary for educating the 21st century child, are in large numbers and of high qualities in the big cities. Okay, now I have illustrated, I want to validate. Okay, infrastructure, basic infrastructure. Sorry. Okay, I said, according to children development professionals, the basic infrastructure for nurturing a well-rounded child is a very good and well-equipped playground. Okay, so this is my first paragraph. I said, as much as many view the countryside as being the perfect fit environment for raising a child due to well-suited calmness it offers, yet the very important amenities for training a child are in good quantities as well as quality in the urban centers. Okay, I said critical infrastructure such as schools, play centers, IT training programs, and centers which are necessary for educating the 21st century child are in large numbers and of high qualities in big cities. According to children, I have illustrated my point with the second statement. The third statement is said, according to the children development professional, the basic infrastructure, sorry, for nurturing a well-rounded child is a very good and well-equipped playground, a qualitative education system, amongst many other things. Okay, so I have been able to introduce a point. If you look at it from here, I introduced the idea, and in this part, I explained the idea because I went into further details of what those amenities were, which are critical to a child's development were. And in the latter part, I came into validating the fact that these amenities, because I'm trying to prove that, yes, because they are present in the cities, it makes the city a better option to training a child or for the development and growth of the child. So that's the way to write and a body, that is, I've raised one point and I have explained and validated the points. So that is the way it is. I will welcome if you can write your own points, because assuming that you know because you are watching and understanding uh, can be false. Try as much as possible, please, to write the body and send. As a matter of fact, before we close class, I will want to take the first body of the essay for you. You can take another direction of explaining amenities, or if you are disagreed, you can go into explaining your own points and explaining why the countryside or the rural area is much more effective for a child's growth than the urban centers. So I'll be giving let me say 10 minutes. And within that period, if you have a comment or feedback, I want to get it. And please, when you send the main body here in this class, the second point, try and raise it and send it to me together with your introduction, the first point and the second point. Because in the next class we will be treating, we've treated this right enough about this is the third class in a row in this series of yes, third. I want us to participate. Don't assume you know it. You have to write. So I'll be expecting it. I'll be giving 10 minutes for you to write a paragraph. So in that period, if you have a comment, please indicate, and or any question or anything, indicate so that I can talk about it. Mhm. Okay, I'm still expecting our task, please, because I want us to all contribute. So I have put us through the process of writing an introduction. Please, Okay, so this is 10:05. Since I have not gotten any, I feel that we are still writing, so I will have to call it a class. But please send in your task. So by Thursday, I will be going to how to then, because it is the same method you use in raising and explaining the first point is the same way you would do to the second and possibly the third point. Please, I will be expecting this task. But if you have 2 or 3 points, raise and explain them so that I'll be able to go through them with you, please. Because that's the only way you can improve. And by the next class, I will be teaching how to write the introduction. Yes, please, the vocabulary development journal I normally send, I should be able to do another videos lecture on vocabulary development and share. I did it in one of the class I used to start this series. I think the last Tuesday or Thursday before the upper week. Yes. So please, you need to, because you need to write um, complex statements, write expressions that are not common. That's what we do in the vocabulary development. So for this night, I will call this class a day. I will still be expecting our task, please, because that's the way I can see if you understand and if I need to go over it with you. So good night for today until we'll see next time on Thursday. If you have any question, please ask now. Mary, it seems you're trying to talk, but your volume, I can't get it. Okay, Mr. Kunle, what's your question, please?
I just wanted to confirm if this very class is recorded.
This class is recorded and is always on YouTube. I will still, you please make a request from your WhatsApp so that I can remember. Yes, it's recorded.
All right, I'll do that.
Yes, it is. So I will call the class a day then and say good night till Thursday again when we meet. So keep practicing and keep writing. So bye bye for now.